Good evening. It's a pleasure to see you. Thank you for joining Everyday People. I am so glad to have you here this evening. Tonight is a special broadcast because I have been contemplating something that most of you wouldn't know, but I'm going to share tonight, and I'm looking forward to what it might bring from so many places. Good evening, Dr. Barksdale. It's a pleasure to see you. And Chris, oh my Lord. Wow. So, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for joining us. This is a very special broadcast because I don't normally broadcast on a Tuesday evening, but there's some things that I wanted to share with you. Hello and welcome to my Facebook Live broadcast. My name is RBoydII, and this moment is a manifestation of my memory. During this broadcast, I sing songs from my heart and my heritage, and I share food for thought on today's challenges of faith. Look for me live right here on Facebook, Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. and occasionally on an odd night like Tuesday. But I'm learning that this is something that God is doing through me, so I should just allow God to be God. Let the words of my mouth, let the words of my mouth, and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. So today, my message is around asking for help. I have been blessed with a tremendous support system, and it has taken me a little bit of time to really figure out how to use this support system in the best way for me, and in the way that really complements or pleases what God has in store for me and what God is manifesting through me. I'll talk a little bit about them later, but for now, I'd like to sing a song for you. There's really, in so many ways, let's try that one more time. This song in many ways reflects how I'm feeling and what this time has been like, excuse me, as I have become more open to what's happening and more engaged with each and every one of you. Let's see here. Well, if it doesn't happen this time, I am going to do it a cappella. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday People with RBoydII. I am grateful for your presence today. And apparently I'm not supposed to sing with an accompaniment, so I will go ahead without it. You gave me my voice. You gave me my hands to reach out to men, to show him your love and your perfect plan. You gave me my ears. I can hear your voice so clear. I can hear the cries of sinners, but cannot wipe away their tears. You gave me my voice to speak your word, to sing all your praises, to those who never heard. But with my eyes I see a need for more availability. I see hearts that have been broken, so many people to be freed. Lord, I'm available to you. My will I give to you. I'll do what you say do. Use me, Lord, to show someone the way and enable me to say, my storage is empty and I am available to you. Over the last few weeks, I have really contemplated what I'm about to share with you next. You see, my support system, God bless them. You know, they make themselves available to me in times where I need them and in times where I think I need them, but I really don't. But they have really helped me define what need is present in my life and how I can use the resources that I have available to me, the people within my network, to bring about my desired outcomes. Today, I want to talk to you about need and asking for what we need, asking for help. See, I'm a person, as many of you know, who's been blessed with many gifts. And it is sometimes difficult to ask for help. Not because I don't think I need it, but because those around me often assume, because of my many gifts, that I don't need help. And that he's got it. He's got it on his own. Let him go for it. That thinking does have an effect on me, or has had an effect on me over the years. It meant that I would be silent about my needs, even as I met the needs of others. It meant that I would keep silent about my needs because I know God to be a God who has never failed me. And I used that as justification for not opening my mouth. Well, we all know the saying, a closed mouth don't get fed. And I have discovered just how true that is. That as much as I might pray or as much as I might trust God, the reality is that God uses people to bring about the things that we are seeking in our lives in so many instances. The other thing about asking for help is the desire often to keep silent about pain, which is another need for help. Well, I haven't been so silent about that one. That's one of those things that when it's painful, you know. But I have been silent about the needs that I have for a variety of reasons. The need that I'm going to address today is very personal, and it's something that the more this ministry goes on, the more I become aware of it. This is a calling, and I am so grateful that God is using me. But what you're seeing right now, this lighting system, the pod that it sits on, and some of the things that I use, they cost money, and I don't think about that because, well, God's got it, right? But my cousin Dawn said to me several weeks ago, you know, Roscoe, you really need to look at your ministry and think about how you're going to ask people for, don't say it. You already know what I'm going to say. Don't say it. Because we all know the stories of ministers who have asked for money and they're riding around in luxury vehicles while the people that they supposedly serve are unable to drive. They have to walk to the church. We know stories about leadership in churches that have ruined the trust and the faith of the people because of their greed and avarice. we have heard so many stories about how money has been used in the wrong way. And for me, I never want anyone, excuse me, to, for 1 minute, question why I'm asking for something, or why there is a need to begin. And so for me, today is very difficult, but it's very significant. You know, I asked, after talking with Don, I said, you know, my God, okay, I've got to do something about this. Not because I felt like I needed it at the time, but because as a ministry, the circulation of currency is a way of being generative, that people are able to express to you and to God that they are receiving something. And as a result, they want to pour into it. That's all well and good, you know, but I've been doing pretty fine here by myself. But, you know, it is not a small feat to think about music, to think about what the message is, to allow God to be open enough to allow God to speak to me so that I can speak to you. You know, all of these things have been things that have come about as a result of this ministry. And so I said to Dawn, all right, that sounds pretty good. And I think I even, like, at one time posted it somewhere in one of my posts attached to the video. But I turned to Uncle Frank and I said, well, what do you think? And he said, well, yeah, you know, but pray on it. Well, I prayed on it and I wasn't getting an answer. And I prayed on it a few more weeks and I wasn't getting an answer. And I went back to Uncle Frank and I said, listen, I don't know what I should do, you know. I am really torn because over the course of my life, I have had what I've needed. And when I didn't have what I needed, it seemed that God made a way and it was there. But the older we get, the more real things can become if we let them. And for me, the reality of needing to fund a ministry has become more and more real the more I want to deliver a quality and excellent broadcast to you. Especially as I look at the platforms that I'll be using for our podcast, which I'm really excited about. But I digress. You know, Uncle Frank said to me, you know, well, pray about it. So I prayed some more, and my Aunt Rita called me last week. My birthday was on June 18th, Wednesday. I'm 40 years old. And my cousin Clement and I have grown up together. And that's Aunt Rita's son. Well, we were very close, Clement and I, and you know, I was talking to Clem about some new opportunities that we might have as a family, and he mentioned my Aunt Rita, which he always does. And so, having talked to her later, I thought about her yesterday, and the Spirit told me give her a call, and I said, you know, I will. And so I waited a little while, but I finally called Aunt Rita and I said, listen, Aunt Rita, I'm struggling. I'm struggling because I don't know how to ask for help, for support. And she said something to me. She said, Roscoe, I didn't know that. I wouldn't have known that. But she said, she gave me language that might work, and I prayed about that. And I'll talk about that later. But what I learned in this process is that there is always an opportunity to ask for help, and there's always an opportunity to help somebody. For me, it's been important to identify what my need is, what I'm asking for, you know, and sometimes that seems very nebulous. For instance, you know, the only reason I feel now that I need to ask for assistance is because there are some larger ticket items that I need to purchase, and my account won't cover that right now. So it was out of necessity, and I wanted to come to you and say, you know what, can you guys just help me pay for this? But there was something bigger calling forth. I have learned that I must ask when I am uncertain and when I'm in need. Sometimes I can sit in the silence and God will bring an answer to me, or make me aware of the person who can fulfill it. You know, there's a need, and then there's the reality of wanting something, like a want or a desire. And I'm not going to address those today. But what I do want to say is that when we sow into something, when we appreciate something, and it's sown into good ground, it grows, it appreciates, and as a result, there is more of an abundance of it. This ministry has grown because of you. It has grown because you were willing to take the time to listen to what God is sharing through me. It has grown because of those faithful folks, my family, both my chosen and my blood, who have stood with me and accepted me for all of my challenges, faults, and failures, and for my strengths. This ministry has been here for me in a way that I have been able to tell my story. And since so many people want to hear it, thank you. Thank you. But now I need to ask for your support. And Aunt Rita said she'd be watching, so I'm sure she's there. But if you'd like to make a gift, if you'd like to sow into this ministry, I invite you to do so. My Cash App is Roscoe Boyd Ministries. Go figure. And of course, there's Zelle, my name, or my phone number, 718-755-2063. I know it's like a broadcast that's open, but so what? You know, God is doing something really awesome, and over the last week, I have gotten confirmation. You know, sometimes we get just one confirmation, but there are times when one confirmation comes, and then another confirmation comes, and then another confirmation comes, until you are in a position where you cannot have doubt about what is happening in your life. And my prayer is that that happens for each of you as well, that things become so clear to you, that you are aware of the path in which you must walk. And so even as God is dealing with me in some aspects, I know that I'm on the right path. And it was, thank you, Michael, I will certainly do that, thank you. But it was my Aunt Rita who was there, who is an extremely deep spiritual person who God speaks to, and I didn't know she had listened to watched every single broadcast. And she shared some things with me. But because of Aunt Rita's journey, and me remembering Aunt Rita when I was a kid, and knowing how faithful she is, there are some people who, when they share something with you, you know it's the absolute truth. And when Aunt Rita told me that what I believed and trusted, but I needed confirmation, she told me that what I'm doing is important, and it is the work of God, and that it was confirmed after a phone call that I made to Uncle Frank, because Don and our cousin Russell were talking about the same thing, and we had no idea. So today I'm asking, and I'll certainly post it as well, for your support. It can be recurring or it can be one time, but I appreciate whatever you can do as we grow this ministry together. I'm really excited about what God is doing. May God add a blessing to each and every one of us. May God keep us safe and give us peace. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise, for it was grace that bought my liberty. I'll never know just how he came to love me so. He looked beyond my faults and he saw my needs. God, my God, God, my God, God, my God. joining us today. I appreciate your presence. If this ministry has touched you, if the message has touched you, not just in terms of sowing into this ministry, but sowing into your lives as well. You know, we have opportunities often to appreciate that which is around us, and sometimes we choose not to. And so we wonder why we're getting more of what we don't appreciate that keeps showing up, when we keep speaking about the things that we don't appreciate instead of focusing on the things that we do. You know, some people say, count your blessings. And I agree. Every day, count your blessings and see what God does for you, in, as, and through you. God be with you. God be with you. God be with you until we meet again. Oh, God be with you. God be with you. God be with you until we meet again. Please like and share this, and know that if you sow into my ministry, you are sowing into good ground. Amen. 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 Have a great day, a great night.